What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fan? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Just giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. And for everyone who's tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this show the best that it can be. Now, they always say the proof is in the pudding, or in the case of the NBA, the proof is in the standings. The proof is in the standings. And what's been starting to transpire over the past 3-4 seasons is coming to fruition. Look at the standings. What do you see? What do you see? Now, what I see is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 small market teams are leading the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who more than likely are off to their best start in franchise history, leading the Western Conference with a 15-4 record. And right behind them are the Oklahoma City Thunder, who many people was laughing at a couple years ago when they was, acquiring all those draft picks by trading away their top players such as Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, players of that ilk. Now look at them, second place. That team is built exclusively through the draft after acquiring Sage Gilgeous-Alexander from that Paul George trade. The Denver Nuggets, the defending champions, who have been missing Jamal Murray over the course of the past 3 weeks or so, but they still right there, 14-7, tied for second place, defending champions. And they're right behind them are the Sacramento Kings, who finished last season as the number 3 seed in the West, and they're off to another good start. Okay, so you got 4 basically small market teams leading the Western Conference. Then you have teams like the Pelicans, who would have a better record if CJ McCollum had missed the previous, close to 10 games or so after suffering that collapsed lung. And then they've been, trying to, manage Zion Williamson as he returns back to form, sitting him out X number of games. They could be sitting there right at least where Oklahoma City and the Denver Nuggets are at. Right? And let's see, Memphis Grizzlies, now they finished the last 2 seasons as the number 2 seed in the West, and they're missing their best player, who should be returning back in the next 6 or 7 games, John Morant. He was suspended the first 25 games of this season due to, the off-court issues from last year. And then their starting center, Steven Adams, has not played for them since January of the previous season, who was leading the league in rebounding, by the way. And then their backup center, Brandon Clark, injured his ACL during the month of March. And then after bringing Derrick Rose in this year, he's been hurt. So if they were whole, they'd be sitting right there. So you can have a situation where 6 of the top 8 seeded teams are essentially small market. I think it's a testimony to great development, great scouting, patience, and understanding that it takes time to build a successful roster to where you can start competing for vying for championships. Then, of course, you're going to have, your mainstays, the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. He can at least get you to the playoffs. They've been in a semi-slump. I believe Kyrie Irving has missed some games due to injury or whatnot, but they did start off strong this year, and they can pick things back up. Now, the Phoenix Suns, I believe because of Devin Booker in his prime, that they can be a good team during the regular season for the next couple of years. The question is, can they translate that regular season success into the postseason? And then you have the Lakers and the Clippers, where both teams in Los Angeles have been struggling the past couple of years. I would say of the past 2.5 seasons, the Clippers have probably been the more successful team because they did reach the conference finals in 2021 after the Lakers won the bubble championship back in 2020. Right? Now, the Golden State Warriors, I believe they had their run. I believe it's going to be difficult for them to make the playoffs. They've lost 2 brutal games last week versus Sacramento and then the Clippers. And I believe their issue is that they rely too much on the shooting, the three-point shooting, and they have no inside interior score or defensive presence. And they never should have traded James Wiseman. And it's showing why. Now, Utah, they've been playing a little bit better as of late, but nonetheless, they have not started off as strong as they did last year. Portland, they started the season off with a lot of players out due to injury, or whatnot. And then San Antonio Spurs, I mean, you got a rookie in Wembanyama, and he's a formidable talent, a phenom coming to the league, but nonetheless, he's a rookie, and they're starting all over again. But as I've been saying, in the Eastern Conference, you have the Orlando Magic in second place behind Boston. And I believe they're a half a game in front of Milwaukee as of today, as of Sunday. So it's a testament to the small market teams are showing, and you can see it. And that pattern started in 2021 when you saw the Utah Jazz. And the Phoenix Suns finished atop the Western Conference as the number 1, number 2 seed going to the postseason, with Phoenix going to the finals, losing to Milwaukee in a great 6-game series. But it's just further proof of what's going on. The small market teams are taking over. They're leading the march in this decade. And I believe it's great, man. Like I say, I know I talk about this super team a lot, man. It's just a stickler for me. I believe it's been a detriment to the league. Past, present, and during the future of the 2010s. And it's time to move beyond that. Like I said, I think it's unfair that, certain superstars are allowed to, join forces and stack the deck. And, you're penalizing teams that are doing it the right way. But ironically, everybody else is winning. In 2019, Toronto won the championship. 2021, Giannis led Milwaukee Bucks to their first championship since 1971, when then Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led them to the promised land. And then Golden State retooled by drafting youth and building around them to solidify their veteranship. And then they won the championship in 2022. And then last year, the Denver Nuggets won the championship and pretty much dominated the postseason with a 16-4 record and lost 1 game at home. So I just think it's awesome, man. I just think it's awesome. And like I said, if a staple franchise, if they, do it the right way, it's awesome. It's great. It's about understanding what it takes to build a real team. And it does take effort. And it does take time. And it does take patience. But once you get there, man, and you see these teams start to rise, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. So kudos to those teams, man. And you figure that, they're going to be in the conversation of, challenging for their Western Conference crown. So until next time, that's another nugget. This has been JB for BTB Behind the Bench.